We're going back to the house of Roja Parfums today, and we're gonna go with one of the newer releases. I think this was released last year. This one isn't the highest regarded one, but with the upcoming warmer months, which it's crazy that we're already almost there, this one fits the bill perfectly for spring, for summer, and a tiniest bit of heat. Today we are looking at Isola Verde by Roja Parfums. This thing was under the radar for me for a while. I didn't go for it and I finally found a good deal on it. I got it and I kind of loved it from the get-go. Stick around and I'm gonna unpack it for you. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, also known as Scent Nick. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're new here, I create fragrance content in the form of detailed reviews. If that is something that interests you, please consider hitting that like button, drop a comment of a fragrance you'd like me to cover, and join our community by hitting the red subscribe button. Now let's get back to this review. So Isola Verde is the third release in the Isola line. There are now 4 fragrances in that line. And really, this one, after the release of Isola Soul, which I've still not smelled, this one was met with a lot of raised eyebrows, like, is this actually gonna be good? The notes sound good. Let's see what actually happens. So there is definitely some mixed feelings about this fragrance. And one of the biggest reasons that is because there's a new perfumer behind the fragrance. And we're starting to see that with Roja. A lot of the new fragrances coming out are the new perfumer, which we'll get into. A 50 milliliter bottle of this is gonna run you $500 retail. Now, that's a lot. It's not worth retail price. I'm gonna just tell you that outright. Please do not, dear God, pay $500 for this fragrance. You can find it at a discounter for around $200. I would pay that, I think. It's a good fragrance, but definitely go to the discounter route because this is not worth $500. The perfumer for this was Antoine Cotton, and he's been doing a lot of the newer releases, and it's very evident in this one. I find that this fragrance does a good blending of Roja's work and Antoine's work, so this is a good marriage. Now, the scent profile for this is going to be an aromatic, kind of tropical, fruity fragrance. And with all that said, let's get into the notes. The top notes for this are going to be mandarin, hedione, and clementine. I feel like this is an interesting way to list the notes. So mandarin and clementine, I get. Those are both great, juicy, orange, citrus, sweeter notes. Hedione, I don't understand why people put that as a note because this is an aroma chemical that doesn't really smell like anything. Now, Roja is known for putting a butt ton of hedione in his fragrances. What hedione does is it's an enhancer, a modifier. It doesn't necessarily have a smell on its own, maybe a very light floral thing, but what it does is creates so much aura. So I guess in the sense that it's doing that in the opening, there's a lot of it. This thing projects so hard from the get-go. So that's what those notes are all about. The heart is wonderful of this fragrance. It's really what sets this thing apart from the rest of the line. In the heart, you're going to get guava, osmanthus, melon, davana, magnolia, and lily of the valley. I really love this heart. The guava is gorgeous. That paired with the melon, those two things create this transparent, fruity, juicy kind of quality. It's tropical, paired with the osmanthus, which is a gorgeous floral note that has apricot and honey and tea-like tendencies. Those three things, you're starting this luscious, fruity, tropical thing. You get the davana, which is more honey-like kind of things, paired with magnolia, which is another powdery white floral with fruity tones, and then the lily of the valley, which again, white floral, soapy, and kind of pear-like, transparent, watery style things. This entire heart is a gorgeous tropical and transparent pinkish, purplish, orangish kind of color. I love it. There's a lot of jasmine at play here too. At least it smells like jasmine, but really white floral bomb with tropical pink, juicy notes. It's outstanding. The base is going to include ambroxan, cedar, pink pepper, tobacco, rum, cardamom, patchouli, and sandalwood. And this is when things really start to go back to the Isola DNA. You get all this tropical things, and then for some reason, about 4 or 5 hours into the wear, you take a hard turn and it goes back to Isola Blue. And I'm not opposed to that, but I think it's just a very curious thing that they're doing here. it's going one route. It's saying, I'm going floral, fruity, and tropical. And then the last couple hours of the wear, let's go woody, spicy. And it throws you for a loop. But the Isola Blue DNA is phenomenal. Like, you can't argue with that fragrance because it's fantastic. So you get a lot of ambroxan here. You kind of pick up on the harsh chemical side of ambroxan here. You get a lot of cedar, which is really nice. The tobacco warms it up just a little bit. You get some spice from the pink pepper. The patchouli gives roundness, fullness, earthiness. I don't pick up on the rum personally, but what I guess it's doing here is adding a booziness to that, that tropical quality. And that's kind of what we're working with. You get some musks, the sandalwood is smooth, but all in all, that's what we're working with here is this, floral, tropical, vibrant DNA that goes into a spicy, woody base. And with all that said, let's get into the questions. Is this original? Honestly, I'm gonna say yeah. Aside from the base where it smells like Isola Blue, this is pretty original. I really enjoyed it. It's a nice tropical white floral kind of fragrance. Very nice, invigorating, and uplifting. The audience for this is unisex, right down the middle, honestly. Some might think that it's leaning feminine. To me, it's right down the middle. I love wearing it. I think a woman would love wearing it. They did a great job of making this perfectly unisex. The age group for this is definitely any age. I think there's enough fun, fruity vibes that younger people are gonna love it. And then that base, older people are gonna love it. Like, perfect, well done on that one. The occasions you're gonna wanna wear this. This is signature scent style material. This is any time of day. This kind of fills the blue fragrance vibe. It's not a blue fragrance, but it has that kind of quality where wear it whenever you want. It just works. Seasons, this is perfect for the warmer months, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say spring and summer. The heat really amplifies this fragrance. It makes it radiate. It really pushes the sweetness of it. With those tropical fruits, it really works in the heat. In the colder months, it's just gonna get subdued. You could do it, but it's just gonna stick really close to the skin. Perfect for the warmer months, in my opinion. The performance is okay. It's not spectacular. Longevity, I get about 6 to 7 hours, and around the hour 6, it's really starting to fade away, but I'm not opposed to that, to be completely honest. The performance, for the first couple hours, it's strong. This thing projects. It has so much presence, and that's that heady element at play here. And then it dials back from this really strong all the way back to a skin scent almost immediately, and that's very typical for Roja's work. But all that said, let's get onto that rating. I'm gonna give this one a 7.1. I think this is above average. I don't think it's far above average. I think it's a really nice fragrance. I think 7.1 is a very solid score here. It's not exceptional by any means. I think if it, maybe had more presence and stuck around longer, maybe a little bit more dynamic and a touch more unique. I don't know. I think it's a great fragrance. I think it's just above average, but not mind-blowing by any means. It's safe, it's mass appealing, it's nothing groundbreaking. If you've experienced it, tell me your thoughts on Isola Verde below. If you've not, if you've smelled any of the Isola line, I would love to know what your thoughts are on the line. And with all that said, if you enjoyed that review, please consider hitting the like button, drop me a comment below, and join our community by hitting the red subscribe button. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.